Hey, everybody. We're going to graph some more compound inequalities. The first thing I want to show you, when you have a U, that's the same thing as an OR. You graph everything. When you have an upside down U, that's the same thing as and it's intersect. You graph what's common. So just another way of representing your compound inequalities. So let's take a look at the first one. Again, in all of these, we still have to solve for x. So in the first one, I'm going to box off the 3x because that's what I do last. I'm going to move this 7 to the other side. So when I do that, I get 3x is less than 3. But as you know, we don't want 3x, we want x. So what are we going to do? They're timesing by 3, so we're going to divide by 3. When we do that, we get x is less than 3 divided by 3, which is 1. All right. So let's go put that on the number line. So here's x. We'll say here is 0. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. -1, -2, -3, -4, and so on. So I'm graphing x is less than 1. Remember, if it's less than or greater than, it's an open circle. If it's less than or equal to or greater than or equal to, it's a closed circle. So we're graphing x is less than 1. So we're not including the 1, so we're going to keep it open on the 1. And then the x is on the left side, so we just got to follow the inequality. It's pointing to the left, so graph to the left. As long as the letter, the variable, is on the left, that'll always work. There you go. Now, union again, the U, that means you're graphing everything. The answer only has to work in one of the two inequalities. It doesn't have to work in both. So let's first of all solve our next equation, our inequality, excuse me, for x. So I'm going to box off the x term. I need to move the -6. How do we do that? We add 6. Stay in neutral, right? When I do that, I bring down the 4x. Gone, gone. Bring down your inequality. 10 plus 6 is 16. Now, I've got 4 times x is greater than 16. I don't want 4 times x. I want x. They're timesing, so we're going to divide. Whatever we do to one side, we do to the other. These will cancel. Bring down your greater than symbol. 16 divided by 4 is 4. So now we're going to graph that. We use a different color. So at 4, 1, 2, 3, here's 4. And it's saying x is anything greater than 4. It's not including 4, so we have an open circle. And anything greater than that will work in that inequality. So there's your solution. So the U or the O, or, means that you graph everything that'll work in either equation. It doesn't have to, or inequality. It doesn't have to work in both of them. All right, let's take a look at the next one. Oh, this is the longer one, but let's simplify it first. So I'm going to distribute the 5 through. 5 times x is 5x. That's a +5. A positive times a negative is a negative. And 5 times 6 is 30. So I distributed the 5 through the parentheses. Now I got a plus 3x is less than or equal to 18. We got a lot going on that left side. I think we can do better. I think we can combine some like terms. So I've got 5x's and I got 3x's. That gives me 8x's. Minus 30 is less than or equal to 18. Now that I got all my x's together, I like to box that term out. So last thing I do, I'm going to box it out. So whatever's outside of that box, I have to move to the other side. So we need to move that -30 to the other side. And how do we do that? We neutralize it. We add 30. So I'm going to bring down the 8x. These cancel. 18 and 30 is 48. Now I got 8 times x is less than or equal to 48. I don't want 8 times x, I want x. So I'm going to divide both sides by 8. Divide by 8. When I do that, I get x is less than or equal to 48 divided by 8 is 6. So let's start by graphing that. Graphing my values of x. We'll say here is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're saying x is less than or equal to, which means 6 works also. I'm going to close that off. Now, when I come back over to my inequality, the letter's on the left, so follow the way the inequality is pointing. It's pointing to the left, so we're going to shade to the left. Just like that. So that's what we get for the first inequality. Now, because we're graphing and, we're only going to end up with the answers that work for both of them. It can't be one or the other this time. It has to work in both of them. So let's start by solving this other one, our other inequality. So I'm going to, first of all, box off the x term because I got the x's together already. And then whatever's outside that box, I got to move to the other side. When I do that, I get negative 2x is less than 22 plus 12 is 34. Now, I'm going to divide by negative 2, divide by negative 2, and I get x. I divided both sides by a negative, so you got to switch your inequality. A positive divided by negative is a negative. 34 divided by 2 is 17. So we'll say negative 17 is about right here. Our inequality is going to be, or our graph is going to be open on the negative 17, open, and it's the letters on the left is pointing to the right, so we're going to shade to the right. Goes on forever, right? However, again, because we're graphing an and, we can only graph what's common to both of them. So I'm going to make another number line right here. Graphing x, I'm going to bring down the negative 17, here's 0, and I'm going to bring down the 6. So when I look at this, the negative 17 is open, which means it's got to stay open because it's not going to be an answer for that works in both of them. When I shade the negative 17, it went all the way this way. And when I shade the 6, it went all the way that way. So what's common to both of them, including the 6, is between negative 17 and 6. And that's your solution. The 6 is closed because it's closed up here. It's part of both. It's a solution for both inequalities. The negative 17 is not a solution for the second inequality. But anything you pick greater than negative 17 and less than or equal to negative or positive 6 will work in either inequality when you put them in for x. Whew, we got her done. You're going to see more problems like this. My advice, maybe go back and do the first problem again and see if you understand it. If you have any questions, please put them in the comments. I'd be happy to answer them. Thank you. And I hope you have a wonderful day.